Hello, creative fam, and welcome to my channel. Thank you everyone for watching, returning family and new visitors. So this intro is a little different. Well, it's a lot different. Instead of pictures and music, I'm gonna share a couple of things with you and answer the most frequent question on my channel, which is, can you make more DIYs like your countertop or home renovation? And the answer is yes. Now, of course, crafting has become the core of my channel. But news in our life is we have found a house finally. So I'm going to be making a vlog when the closing is final. And what we're doing is buying a foreclosure. And in this case, patience pays off big time. So an offer was made what seems like forever ago. I don't have a lot of answers right now. But again, I will keep you updated. It looks like everything is in the right direction, and this house is quite the fixer-upper. So I'll be doing a lot of projects. So for this project, I used 2 of these Decor Frames from Dollar Tree, and these are the bigger ones, and they come in like an antique white, which I love, and they have letters or words on these. And I used fingernail polish to try to remove the letters, and that did not work. So then I just used a blade to scrape them off. Next, I take a strand of lights that I plan on using and I hold it up against the frame and mark it with a pencil. So there's 20 bulbs and I have 20 marks. And I want to make sure to make my marks on the inside of the cuts of the frame. And then I use a drill, and the drill bit size that I use is 5/32. But I want to install these Christmas lights from the bottom and be able to bring the frames together face to face so that they're lined up. So what I do is I hold them together with my hands and I follow the marks, drilling my holes. And I did figure out it was easier to use a clamp on the other side to apply pressure while I held the frames together. Of course, LED strip lights would be the best lights to use for making this project. And or you could use like the lights that I used last week on the mirror, because those have a super thin wire and you could probably skip the entire drilling part. I wanted to be able to plug mine up and use power instead of batteries. So that's the reason I went with this, and I didn't have an LED strip light. I think that if you used some lights with some thin wire, I really think that you could skip the drilling part of this. So once that was finished, I wanted to go ahead and prep the decor for the inside. I used 2 popsicle sticks or craft sticks and I painted those white. Then I glued a piece of fishing line to the popsicle sticks and started gluing the floral gems to the fishing line. And by the way, I did trim the popsicle sticks with some garden cutters. So once my line was glued on, I flipped the gems so that the backs are facing up, and I add a tiny drop of hot glue to those. And I just bring my line to the glue. And once I had a full line of gems, then I wanted to add gems to the other side. Without pumping my glue gun, I just touched the gem to the hot glue, and then I would just hold the gem to the fishing line so that my strands would be nice and full. I made 6 strands of gems total, and all the strands are different. So I placed gems at the top of one of the strands, and then on another one midway, and then some at the bottom. So I was just given the effect of the design that I saw on Wayfair. And I wanted to add a little something. So I used a roll of bling that I had gotten from one of my subscribers. Her name is Ms. Brenda. And she had ordered this off of Amazon. And just so you know, I'd found some rhinestones on a ribbon from Hobby Lobby, and I had gotten that on sale for $3. And you do have to use a seam ripper to detach the ribbon from the bling. And I believe this was 3 yards. I'm not sure on the length of this big roll that Brenda sent me, but I'm pretty sure it's more than 3 yards. Right before, I used the glue on the tip of my hot glue gun and touched that part to one of my rhinestones, and then I wrapped the fishing line around the very tip several times, and I secure that with another drop of hot glue. Then I go ahead and I glue the fishing line connected to the rhinestones. I glue that to the popsicle sticks just like I did the gems. So now all that's left to do is assemble everything. And I start out by hot gluing my bulbs in the little grooves that I had made with my drill. Once I'm finished with all of my bulbs and I've glued all of them in their little grooves, then I'm ready to insert my gems in the bling. So I take my popsicle sticks and I hold them up to one of the frames. Now, right here is another part I wish I could redo. So I glued my popsicle stick to the top of the frames with clear Gorilla Glue and hot glue. But I wish I had have just glued it to the inside and maybe used a smaller popsicle stick or even dowels. And you'll see why here in a moment. But you wouldn't be able to see it from the inside is another reason. I wanted to decorate the front of the glass a little bit more, so I took some gems and I went across the very bottom on both sides with JOT Gems, lining the gems across with short rows, tall rows, medium rows, in no specific order or pattern. Next, I finish putting the main build of the project together, and I do that with the clear Gorilla Glue and the Gorilla Hot Glue. And I go all the way around the frames with both glues, including around where the lights are. Then I connect them rim to rim, and then I hold it still, applying some pressure, and I do that for a couple of minutes. Now I need to make a stand and I need to hide the wires. So I go with these picture frames that I have left over from a previous project. I had actually messed two of these up pretty bad. And I had hot glue and glitter all over them from another project, but this is all I had. So this was a make it work moment. Next, I just stack two of the frames together and I use both of my glues, the Gorilla Clear Glue and the Gorilla Hot Glue, to secure the stack. If if I had have had the 4-inch frame pieces, I would set the 4-inch piece on top and have the 6-inch piece going across the bottom. For more stability, I glue a Jenga piece or tumbling tower block to the back part of the frame at the very bottom one. And I purchased this toy set a while back at Dollar Tree. So if Dollar Tree doesn't have these anymore, you could glue craft sticks back to back until you have the thickness of what you need, and you could just use that. Next, I add both glues, the Gorilla Clear Glue and Hot Glue, to the inside crease of the top of the frame, and then I fit that into the lamp. After I have both sides of my stands put together, I start tucking in the wires so that they're not sticking out. Okay, so now if you glue the popsicle sticks to the inside, like I had mentioned earlier, you'll be finished right here. But for me, I couldn't just leave it like that, so I had to add some more bling to the top, concealing the wooden sticks. Personally, I would have liked it a lot better had I glued them on the inside, but I still love this table lamp. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this DIY project. I really love this lamp. This week's quote comes from Cheryl Palma, and hers says, "It's nice to be important, but more important to be nice." What a great message. Thank you, Cheryl, for sharing. And as always, feel free to share your quote in the comments and just leave the word quote somewhere in the comment, and I'll save it for a future video. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you very soon in another DIY project.